New tonight on KGW News, a fight, then a shootout caught on camera on a public bus. Wow, 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 wow. Plus, West Coast states team up to buck federal vaccine recommendations.
Our people cannot be left to navigate a patchwork of politics and piecemeal pharmacy rules.
Then a local author shares her painful yet powerful story to break the cycle of childhood abuse.
When we live in shame, then we can't prosper and we can't thrive.
And the day after Portland's new overnight shelter opens, a new day center invites people to spend time and find resources.
I think it's a pretty good start.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. So was it a good start for the controversial Northwest Portland shelter, or does 13 out of 40 beds filled on the first night mean that there is much more work to be done? Perhaps the answer is a bit of both. Catherine Cook's in the newsroom. Catherine, there's been so much opposition from neighbors in the Pearl District, but for the first time, we're hearing from those who actually slept there.
Yeah, and David, they tell me they're thankful for the shelter, citing safety as their biggest reason. As for the low turnout, the city tells me, frankly, they were expecting fewer people than 13 on the first night. They believe those numbers will grow very soon. On Northwest 14th and Northrop,
the thing is safety.
Kyle Reed is waiting for the doors to open at this new overnight shelter.
Very thankful. Whoever's putting this on.
Reed says this low barrier shelter helps him stay sober.
And I keep a different routine, honey. I'm an addict. That's the thing about us people.
The shelter opened for the first time Tuesday night after months of preparation and pushback from some neighbors. City officials tell us 13 people slept here, including some who'd been sleeping on the streets but had never stayed at an overnight shelter before. They call that a big win. For Wade,
are you going to go back there tonight?
Yeah, I probably am.
The shelter made a big impression.
Because I was always been homeless since I was 12. And that's the only thing I call home.
On Wednesday, Wade and others came here, the new day center on Northwest 6th and Gleason. That's about a mile away from the overnight shelter. The city is contracting with Urban Alchemy to run the day center, which offers several amenities.
The outhouses and the showers and the bathrooms.
Bob Upton already loves it.
Hey bro, is there hot chocolate?
Yeah.
I want 2 cups.
Besides adding more overnight shelters, the mayor's plan to address homelessness calls for adding 1 new day center in each of the city's 4 districts. They'll include mobile behavioral health and other rotating services and will open from 6 a.m. to 10 at night. Randy Lucht says he's been waiting for something like this.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good start, because it gives people a place to be and not be like in violation of trespassing or loitering.
Back at the shelter,
Each one of us has problems.
capacity is at 40. The city expects to meet that in a couple weeks as word about the shelter spreads and trust among guests grows. Eventually, up to 200 guests will be allowed to sleep here. Time will tell if they will. You may have noticed the day center on Gleason looked a little paltry. The city says today was just their soft launch. In fact, they're asking for donations from the public to help fill it out. They printed a list on their website with things like picnic tables, outdoor games, and decorative lighting. David.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. Appreciate the follow-up tonight. New this evening, a former Oregon Youth Authority employee has been indicted by a grand jury on sexual misconduct and other charges. Sherry McDougal is accused of having a sexual relationship with someone who was incarcerated at the McLaren Youth Correctional Facility in Woodburn. She's also accused of supplying contraband, in this case vapes, and also providing 2 firearms to someone who'd been released from the facility. It's unclear if she entered a plea today. McDougal is due back in court next week. Developing this evening, striking classified workers in the Evergreen School District are set to vote tomorrow on the district's final contract offer. That means no classes for at least another day, with bus drivers, paraeducators, and more still on the picket lines. The union has asked its members to reject the offer. Meanwhile, further north in Clark County, teachers in the La Center School District have now walked out, which means no school there either. John Adams takes a closer look.
On what should have been the 5th day of the new school year in La Center, teachers found themselves not inside the classroom, but on the sidewalk outside.
La Center teachers look around at the other Clark County districts. We're the lowest paid ones, and it doesn't feel very good.
The district's 105 teachers made the decision to walk off the job after negotiations with the district on a new contract came to an impasse on Tuesday. In addition to an increase in pay, teachers are asking for reasonable class sizes and improved work conditions.
We're here for the students. We really want to make sure that we have the best teachers. We retain those teachers, which means we need a fair contract for ourselves.
Near the picket lines, we found the parent of a first and second grader. They were spending the morning at a playground instead of in the classroom.
I'm sad that it came to this, but we did feel like maybe it would come to this because it's been taking so long.
Despite the interruption in learning, Hannah Hanto says her children have had a great experience in the La Center district, and she supports the teachers' decision to strike.
We want them to have a fair contract. They support us, and they help us raise our children and help us make our children into great kids, and we want to support them too.
The district declined to speak with us on camera, but in a statement said, the La Center School District continues to work at the bargaining table with the support of professional mediators to reach an agreement. A second grade teacher at La Center Elementary says they hope a deal can be reached soon.
We want to be in the classroom. We want to be teaching your kids. We want them coming to school. But we want to do it in a way where it's fair for our families and our kids.
John Adams, KGW News.
Yeah, tough for a lot of families there. Let's take you outside on this Wednesday night where we are seeing some relief after a day that ended up on the warmer end where lots of spots were sucked in by the clouds. Matt Savino tracking some showers in your first forecast. Hey there, Matt.
Hey, David. Yeah, right now the clouds have broken up over Portland and it looks like the haze has thinned out too. 72 degrees, temperatures running about the same as they were at this time last night. So it is a warm night for us. Now we had showers come across the Cascades, dump on out over Lynn County and then extend through the Coast Range, and now they are well offshore. That batch has moved away. There it goes. No lightning in the Northern Valley, but we had some down around Roseburg and Eugene. That batch is also beginning to sort of just dwindle and fall apart. There goes the rain showers. I don't really see much coming our way overnight tonight, so I think we're kind of out of it as terms of the showers go with this weather system, but there's still a slight chance we could see one fall during the overnight hours. All right, we're going to talk about what's happening with the watches and warnings. Up to the north, still have fire weather warnings across the northern Cascades of Washington and northeast Washington. And then farther down for the rest of the state, that's an air quality alert because of the smoke there. We have one of those down over parts of south central Oregon, parts of Lane County here, the eastern half of that county because of proximity to the Emigrant Fire. And then a marine fog advisory out along the Oregon coast because it's going to get thick. Tomorrow, though, will be a little bit like today, partly sunny, hazy sunshine, but it gets warmer because the clouds will be thinner, up to about 90 degrees. And then coming up, you're going to want to see what I've got in terms of this pyrocumulus cloud that developed out near Mount Rainier. Pretty impressive. But again, a warm night tonight and warm couple days, and then a nice shift in the weather pattern over the weekend. More on that too, David. Back to you.
Yeah, changes on the way. Thanks, Matt. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, confusion over the latest COVID vaccines now has the governors of Oregon, Washington, and California teaming up. Their goal is to give recommendations on vaccines, saying changes on the federal level have put politics over people. This comes after the director of the CDC and 17 members of the Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices were fired. Here's the director of the Oregon Health Authority.
So our intent is, rather than conceiving of original guidance of our own, to align our recommendations and decisions with trusted medical experts and associations, including ACOG, the American Academy of Pediatrics, a number of other medical associations that are imminently to release additional guidance for adults.
When it comes to insurance coverage, OHA says that is still a work in progress. The goal is to ensure people have continued access to vaccines with no out-of-pocket costs. Portland City councilors are looking at options to help revitalize downtown, and that could include easing the financial burden on businesses. This morning, councilors weighed temporarily amending city code to cut down on some permitting requirements and suspending some development upgrade requirements. This means businesses could hold off on upgrading things like sidewalks or street tree wells, improvements that can cost a business hundreds of thousands of dollars. If the amendment passes, and that's still an if, it would go into effect October 1st. And we are tracking a new wildfire that's burning in Central Oregon, about 20 miles northeast of Prineville. This is the Marks Creek fire along Highway 26, which sparked yesterday. As of tonight, 2,500 acres have burned. Right now, there are level 3 go now and level 2 be set evacuation orders in the immediate area. The Oregon Department of Forestry has also deployed a team to help battle the fire since it is burning in the Ochoco National Forest.